everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space for all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces that we drop every other Monday. We have a thought piece scheduled to drop this upcoming Monday, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you're looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, I'm going to ask that you subscribe. I am not the best at growth strategy, but if you enjoy this talk and if it's something that you want to keep listening to, then join our community of game changers. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And our topic of discussion today is on education. On the topic of education, I'm going to be talking about proactiveness. I'm going to be talking about being self-directed and what that looks like. And for a lot of us, it is foreign territory because a lot of our lives have been spent following instructions, following a given person, a leader. Very little of our education had to do with fostering this sense of confidence to hit the ground running and drive towards the things that we think are important, drive towards answering the questions that we feel are important, and figuring out on your way your strategy of getting the results, getting the answers, getting the information, the knowledge that you're seeking. And so I want to give you a couple of tidbits that will help enable and cultivate the skill set of being self-directed. A lot of the times what happens is, because of conditioning, and I blame totally the education system for this, and that's why I have a bone to pick with education, is when it is the case that we see a gap, that we see that there is something missing, that's the most analysis that we're going to do, right? And a lot of that is because we've been trained, because in past instances when we've decided to try to close the gap ourselves, because we use our intuition, because we tried to feel it around, it might not have been the perfect fix. And unfortunately, we can live in environments, we can come from environments where things not being done a specific way can be something that is very much frowned upon, can be very jarring for some people, because a lot of people are walking around with their own perfectionist hang-ups, right? And so if you were raised in a setting with someone who had a perfectionist hang-up and you are trying to figure things out for yourself, you're trying to cultivate autonomy, you're trying to be self-directed, and you got punished for it, it makes sense that as an adult, it's very hard for you to cultivate the confidence to be self-directed without fearing the consequence of your innovation, of your proaction. But it doesn't mean that you don't build the muscle, because I think that it's really, really important that we recognize that even if we don't fix things perfectly, we don't figure things out perfectly without the right context or the right background information, it doesn't mean we haven't made leaps and strides in our learning and our understanding from that failure. But we need to have a different relationship with failure, and we need to really build some distance between our relationship with perfectionism to give ourselves the opportunity to feel like we can be self-directed without waiting for instruction, waiting for someone to tell us step by step what it is that we need to do. And we also want to find ourselves in environments that allow us to iterate and allow us to figure out and hypothesize and to figure out what the right solutions might be. And so this is the aspects of life that I absolutely love, and I don't just do this at work, I do this use in my own life. There's a lot of different questions where people will ask the question and then that's pretty much it. But I ask the question and then I follow it up with an action. I follow it up because I think to myself, if this question was enough, just makes me stop in my tracks and really ponder it, and I want to figure it out. And a lot of the times it can be done in a Google search. It can be really easy, but sometimes it's gray. Sometimes it's the gray, being comfortable, developing a certain level of comfort playing in gray, breaking away from the black and white, because a lot of this world that we live in is very relative. And what I really love to do is I love to find conditional hypotheses, so things that are true in some instances but are false in others. And a lot of things are conditional truths. A lot of the things that we interact with, that we entertain, that we navigate in our setting are only true in a given case and false in others. And I think that the more that we start to think about things that way, so think about things as true in specific instances and false in others, the more comfort we develop in gray, the more comfort we develop recognizing that no system, no interaction, no process, no person is perfect. There are flaws, and the flaws are apparent in the spaces between those conditions. And it's just marvelous. It's just a great way to ideate. It's a great way to brainstorm and to just be imaginative as to what conditional truths you can put into place if you're trying to build something that is great in one sense but maybe not in another. And I think that breaking away from that perfectionism mindset by looking at things, purposely trying to build a certain degree of comfort with gray, focusing on finding yourselves in environments where there is gray, or creating opportunities for gray, philosophizing, reading some books in philosophy where it is all relative, it is all gray. But when you start to find yourself comfortable in that gray, it doesn't jar you, it doesn't stress you out. When it's not a fixed answer, you're building your bridge towards becoming more self-directed, because very few things have fixed answers that can't be questioned, that can't be pushed, that can't be seen in a different light if you looked at it from a different perspective. And sometimes our issues around the world is the fact that all of us want the things that we think to be the truth, and they're truth in certain conditions and false in others. And I think being self-directed, even if the things that we believe, recognizing the flaws in our own beliefs, recognizing the gaps that exist in the conditional truths that we abide by and that enable us to orient in the world around us, is going to be what helps us to build a bridge between the here and now by ways of our knowledge base and the future version of ourselves, a 3.0 version of ourselves. And in this digital knowledge infused aspect era that we're in, is a great opportunity to just build out the skill sets, the muscles, the areas of development that you need to be self-directed and to be unapologetic about your pursuit of figuring things out. Knowing that it will never be done perfectly, it will always be done differently by someone else, but that doesn't matter. It was done by you, and in that process you figured something out. You figured out something new. So that was really what the talk today was about, some food for thought for you. Hopefully it was helpful to you as it relates to my stalking situation. I don't have any information for you as yet. You will be the first to know when I do. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you all very soon.